The blue and red lights dancing across my living room ceiling at 7 a.m. definitely weren't in the forecast for my Thursday. Unless you count waking up to 4 patrol cars idling in your driveway as a new weather event. You ever stand there in your pajamas, clutching a mug that says, "World's okayest dad," and wonder if maybe the universe is just screwing with you for kicks? That was me, watching a full-blown police operation focused not on a fugitive, but on my cherry red '67 Mustang, which, if you ask me, is the only reason half those cops got up that early in the first place. So, picture this. My radio's crackling at my waistband, my feet are cold on the hardwood, and out by the curb is Priscilla Dent, the reigning queen of suburban warfare, swaddled in a satin bathrobe, and her official HOA president sash, like she's Miss Dictatorship USA. Beside her, her son Bradley's bouncing around, swinging his lacrosse stick like he thinks he's the sheriff, his face lit up with that teenage combination of panic and misplaced righteousness. And before you ask, yes, my coffee was getting cold, because nothing says good morning like being accused of grand theft auto before sunrise. I open my door slow, badge up where everyone can see it. The air's got that fresh-cut grass scent with a little whiff of exhaust for flavor. Real American breakfast. Priscilla doesn't waste a second. She's waving her arms and declaring, in a voice you could hear 3 blocks over, that I need to be arrested right now because I, get this, stole my own car from her son. You can't make this stuff up. One of the officers, this poor sergeant with bags under his eyes, blinks like he's walked onto the wrong movie set. I can't blame him. Chief Mullery, he goes. That's me, Grant Mullery. Been running the Cedar Hollow PD for the better part of a decade, in a town where more folks know their grass blade counts than their bank balances. And yeah, I'm a widower, 6 years now. These days, my routine is my sanity. Up before dawn, jog around the block, paperwork at the station, and on Sundays, a little Motown, a little Mustang waxing, and maybe, if the mood strikes, some extremely average air guitar. 5 years ago, I moved to Juniper Trace, thinking maybe, just maybe, peace and quiet would drown out the ache of missing my wife. That's where I met Priscilla, who runs the HOA like it's a military junta. Her meetings? Less, let's make the neighborhood better. More, you have the right to remain silent, and you should probably use it. Bradley, meanwhile, is new to driving but apparently thinks his license is a golden ticket to every car in town. A week back, he'd swaggered over to my door and asked to borrow my Mustang for a date. Said it'd boost his morale. Whatever that means for a kid who still can't parallel park. I laughed, told him to try community spirit with the city bus. Next morning, I find a printed notice taped to my door, non-participatory neighborliness, straight from the HOA. I'm now a hoarder of recreational assets. And get this, I laughed at the language, and that somehow triggered another violation for disturbing morning sounds. After that, the violation slips started breeding. Aggressive chrome on my mailbox? Never heard that before. Apparently Motown on Sundays is a threat to public decency. Priscilla suggested I switch to smooth jazz. I told her the day Marvin Gaye gets replaced by Kenny G is the day I move to Antarctica. Then came the traffic calming device, which was just a concrete bucket, spray-painted yellow, dropped smack in front of my driveway. I asked about it at the HOA meeting. She calls it part of a new safety initiative. Purely coincidental, she says, that it only exists in front of my house. Then she forms a youth mobility task force, just Bradley, and they start a petition to reallocate underutilized vehicles to benefit the community. Shockingly, the petition snags a dozen signatures, mostly from teens who think it means free cars. The next escalation? A photocopy of my Mustang's VIN under my doormat, with a smiley face sticky note. I'm 99% sure Bradley is the culprit. Now, every morning, Bradley's boyfriend parks his rusty hatchback across my driveway and disappears. Guess who can't jog on schedule now? The one time I call a tow truck, Priscilla appears, blocking the car and delivering a monologue about collective transport equity while live streaming it for her Facebook fans. The tow driver just sits there eating his burrito like it's a show he's paid to see. I hum Motown in the background, which, hilariously, ends up as a meme in the neighborhood Facebook group. Everything comes to a head, because of course it does, at 7:18 a.m. when Priscilla calls 911, full drama mode, reporting a vehicle theft in progress. According to her, My Mustang now belongs to Bradley by legal HOA reassignment. She says I menaced a youth, by which she means I told Bradley no. She even claims the HOA can seize cars in a community mobility crisis. The dispatcher, someone I've worked with for years, admits later she had to mute herself to keep from laughing. When officers show up, Priscilla tries to swear them in under HOA authority. I'm not kidding. She's got a printed oath from Canva, clip art and all, and a packet labeled Emergency Vehicle Requisition Form stuffed with whereas and therefore like she's solving a math problem. Officer Martinez, bless him, flips through it like he's trying to order lunch in Klingon. They ask for proof of ownership. I hand over my title, insurance, even an old photo. Me, the Mustang, my wife, back when life was simpler. Bradley? He holds up a lanyard. Youth Mobility Task Force Director. No, seriously. That's it. Priscilla insists this is sufficient documentation per Section 12B of the HOA emergency protocols, which they'd obviously cooked up that morning. Not wanting even a whiff of impropriety, I call for the county sheriff and state police. Enter Tom Rodriguez, 25-year veteran, seen it all. But even Tom takes a beat when Priscilla tries to deputize him. He reviews body cam footage, Priscilla's Canva packet, and the 911 tape, where she claims I'm stealing my own car in real time. He explains, as gently as possible, that you can't commit criminal harassment just because you're HOA president. Priscilla's response. She calls an emergency HOA hearing on my front lawn, whips a gavel out of her bathrobe, and smacks my mailbox so hard it sets off car alarms. She writes herself a violation for noise, then remembers she's the one who did it. Tom finally guides her off my lawn, all patience, while Bradley stares at the sidewalk, starting to realize maybe mom's gone too far. Bradley's boyfriend, whose car started this mess, vanishes as soon as the blue lights flicker. Can't blame the kid. That night, instead of holding her emergency hearing in my backyard, which she tried to claim under the open garden statute, another Priscilla invention, we're in City Hall, the gallery packed with neighbors who've all got a story but never witnessed anything like this. I keep my mouth shut, let the state AG rep handle it. Sarah Chun, sharp, quick, clearly enjoying herself, lays it out for the judge. First, the 911 call, which sounds like a bad infomercial. Active crime scene. Youth victim. All of it made up on the spot. The body cam footage rolls next. Priscilla tries to ticket the cops for responding to her own call. The room's barely holding in their laughter. But the kicker? The AG presents Priscilla's emails. In one, she writes if I won't share my vehicle, she'll make him share it through creative interpretation of guidelines. Another outlines Bradley's diverse driving experience as justification for what she dubs a community vehicle rotation program. Some guy in the back shouts, "That's not how any of this works." The judge nearly loses it. The charges pile up: false reporting, misuse of emergency services, harassment, attempted fraud, and, get this, filing fraudulent HOA documents. Turns out there's a law for that, passed after another HOA went nuts a few years back. The judge, barely hiding his exasperation, hits her with a protective order. She can't come within 200 feet of me, my property, or my Mustang. The HOA clubhouse is 190 feet from my fence. Guess she's zooming into meetings from now on. Bradley's situation? Well, security footage shows him doing donuts on the HOA putting green with a golf cart. His license is suspended for 90 days. The judge tells him to read up on both traffic laws and property rights. Hint: neither includes communal vehicle ownership. The HOA vote to oust Priscilla is 31-1. She tries to double vote as president and acting parliamentarian, a job she makes up on the fly, then tries to proxy for her cat, Mr. Whiskers. No dice. Lorraine Shepard, our new president, immediately institutes the no fantasy laws policy. From now on, the HOA only enforces real, written rules. Priscilla's sentenced to 180 hours of community service, running the city bike library. Yeah, she's now the queen of actual community vehicle sharing. The judge tacks on a class. Boundaries: why other people's stuff isn't your stuff. That one's usually for shoplifters, but hey, if the shoe fits. She's hit with $8,000 in fines for wasting police time, plus $1,200 for officer overtime. When they announce it, Her mouth drops so wide someone whispers, "She looks like a broken Pez dispenser." More laughter. Her last words before being let out? She asks if she can pay in HOA credits, which, of course, are as imaginary as her legal theories. The judge adds $500 for contempt. Walking out of City Hall that night, the air felt lighter, like someone finally opened a window. But you know what's funny? A week later, someone put a "community sharing starts with you" flyer in my mailbox. No signature, but I caught Bradley glancing over, trying not to smile. Maybe that's the real end. Or maybe it's just the next round waiting to happen. So here's my question for you. Where's the line between community and control, between neighborly and nuts? Was I wrong to stand my ground? Or did justice finally catch up with the HOA? Drop your take in the comments, because in Cedar Hollow, the story's never really over. And hey, smash that like button if you believe some things, like a man's Mustang, are worth fighting for.